What's up, guys? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology, and we are going through Genesis 14, 1 through 16 in Trust in Jesus Ministries. So if you haven't checked out the book, read it, the verses that we're going through, go ahead and check those out. Come back. We'll answer the 4 questions. If you've already read it, we're going to jump into it. Now we're on the next episode of Abram, and this one has to do with him and Lot. And so really, first off, it's pretty cool, man. It's wartime. We're going to see a major war going on here, and Abrams gets dragged into it a little bit because of Lot. But we're going to find out that brother, warrior. So what is he saying? What's the guy saying? Well, he said there's all these kings, I think 4 specific kings, and they are kind of like the chief kings, the head kings. And then there's these other kings. There's 5 of them, and they are like underlings, vice regents. And then they were serving these kings for a while, and then they decided to rebel, and so they rebel. Well, the overlords, the big kings, beat them, man. But in the process of beating them, they take. This is what you do when you win. You plunder, you take, and you get. And so the big kings actually took all of what Sodom and Gomorrah had, and as they took their possessions, they also took Lot. And so when they did that, one of the survivors from the war went and told Abram, and they said he's a Hebrew. So on a side note, it's the first time in Scripture that the people are known as Hebrew. Abram is called a Hebrew, and it's a cool name because I'm not quite sure about the etymology. I read a little bit about it, but it said that because in Hebrew it's Ivre. In Ivre, that word is cognate or close to similar word called to cross over. And so the name could come from the idea they crossed over the Red Sea whenever they were freed from Egypt. But I'm not super sure about that. Also, but one thing it comes from Eber, which is in the line of Seth. And that is like where they got their name. That's they great granddaddy. But anyway, they said they went and talked to Abram and told him about it. Abram got his folks, man. He got, I think, like 313 trained warriors, man, that were in his household. And they went out and he got his cousin back, man. His nephew. He got his nephew back, man, and the possessions of it. And so, it was like, he ain't playing, man. He mounted up. And what's the thing about it is that the people that Abram took over, man, it was him by himself when they had 5 kings against 4, and they couldn't defeat them. And so this is saying something about Abram. I think the author's conveying the idea that, man, when God is for you, who can be against you? When it comes to the promises will not be thwarted. When it comes to the power and the might of the Lord, you know who got it. You know who got it. And so what's it saying about God? Well, I think it's saying for us that if God is for us, man, he's a hedge of protection. God is our protection. He is the God of protection. He promised something. And I know we keep coming back to this, the faithfulness of God to carry out his promises. But that's the idea of Genesis, is that nothing can thwart the promises of God. Man can't. The world can't. Satan can't. Nothing can. Our own selves, when we try to thwart the promises of God, it will not happen. God is faithful to that. But he's got a protection, man. He's protecting Abram as he's going to do what he's called to do, man. What he should do. And so, because he is keeping the promises that he has made, saying that he's going to be a nation, saying that he's going to have a son, he's going to possess the land. Well, as Abram goes to do the thing that he feels called to do, which is to save his nephew, God protects him. What's it say about man? Well, I think that it says that we need to be ready to protect our people. Man, we are called to be a community together. From the very beginning, we saw that we were called into community, to communion with each other and to communion with God. And so as we share in that community, kindred community, relations. It's a huge deal in the Hebrew culture. And so this is something that should be carried out to us, as now we know that we are all children or sons and daughters of Abraham, because we are that way by faith. And so this community that has been seen and shown in the way we love and care for one another should be the same thing that we have today. So when we see another brother or sister in harm, whether it be spiritual or physical, mental, whatever it may be, emotional, we should run to their rescue. We should run to help, to lift up, to bear the burdens. And Paul speaks to this all the time. So I think that's what it's saying, is that we should be there to help our brethren. How do we apply these truths to our lives, man? Well, I think because of that, we should be bold. We should be bold, knowing that nothing can touch us when we stand on the promises of God. Now, this ain't no, claim it and fame it or wealth and health, but it is the truth that if God has called us to something, there's nothing that will thwart that plan until it is carried out. I think there was one person, I don't know who it was, I'm not exactly sure, but he says, I'm invincible until God is done with the plans that he has planned me to do. Saying there's nothing that can touch him. Nothing can touch those who are called by God for a purpose to be done until he's done with you. So be bold. Be bold as you go out and carry out the mission of God. So that's the application today, is be bold in carrying out the mission of God. We're going to see the consequences that's going to happen from this incident as Abram comes and defeats these people, which is, it's crazy. Like I said, man, he's a one-man army. He's a one-man army. And so the people that he actually defeated were the ones that were in Canaan later on, and the people of Israel, after leaving Egypt, saw them and said, man, we can't handle these folks, man. They too big, they too dangerous. They were feared. But Abram, man, with the courage and the power of Yahweh behind him, man, he was able to do many things. But we're going to talk about the consequences that happen after that, and we're going to see some cool stuff. So can't wait to see you guys back again, and I'll see you in the next episode.